So I want to make this more poignant and more to the point. Okay. If you've already done a few waterfalls back in the beginning of COVID, whether it's 3 months ago or a year ago, it's time for you to get off the J juice, eat all the food in the food supply, and feel the viruses. If you're going out there hanging out with your grandkids, hanging out with your friends and family, going to public venues, maybe you're vectored, maybe you're not, it doesn't even matter, and then you feel stuff, and then you're trying to now do the J juice to then cure yourself because you're feeling stuff, not even just the mucus and the tiredness. No, you've been feeling bad. You've been feeling all the aches and pains because you've never reversed your issues. And so that's why I'm really pounding the gavel and getting on the people in my group who I know have been on the J juice for the last couple years, who are now trying to get back on it again because they're feeling their environment and they don't want to feel or deal with it and feed the energy. So they're going to use J juice as a cure. And guess what? This is where you're going to deplete your resources because you're not going to be hungry. You're not going to recode your DNA. You're not going to reverse the aging process. And you are going to sacrifice yourself for all of your fun and your family and your friends. And so that's the careful balance you must see and be aware of that you lack. Strong immune systems don't mean shit. A balanced immune system means that you feel your environment regardless of what it is. Because if you feel achy and pains and all this other stuff and you have some PTSD, some trauma come up, it means you've never dealt with your shit. And the virus that you've been exposed to brought all of that up. And then now you're trying to temper that energy when you shouldn't be. You should be feeding it. But no, you're going to make J juice. And so I can tell those that never reverse their issues because they stayed on the J juice and used it as a cure. And so guess what it did? It froze you in the chaotic state that you were in. And so, yeah, to you it worked. But then when I realized what was going on, that people were not evolving, they weren't reversing the aging process, and they're out there and about not feeling anything with their grandkids and their moms and dads and whatever. And now they're feeling stuff because these variants are very strong. And now they want to use J juice to go and try to cure themselves. Yeah, you're going to turn into the crypt keeper. Because when I was on the J juice for a lot, when I drank a lot of it, I was very skinny. I wasn't coating my body. I had really hardly any fat on me. In that environment, I could have gotten away with it. In this environment, if you're skinny, not coating your body and hardly any fat on you, and then you feel the variants and they are eating you alive and you're feeling like shit, guess what you're going to do? You are going to drain the substance out of you. With the J juice, with the environment, and of course all the viruses, and then your friends and family are going to cannibalize you. Your grandkids are going to cannibalize you because you can't stay away from environments that are bringing up this energy because you're not wanting to deal with it. Because that's the thing, when you do hang out with friends and family, they have variants that you have to deal with. If you understood how to deal with it and just dealt with the pain and ate all the food in the food supply, maybe, but that gets tiresome. You realize that today, I was out there today, but I wore a mask today because I don't want to feel like I have to go and recover tomorrow. We'll see. I'm going to see how I am today and tomorrow. But every time I go out in the environment, I feel something because guess what? I'm evolving. I'm not putting myself in a cured state. I'm off the J juice. The last time I took a little bit of J juice was just 2 shots when I was dealing with the COVID and I was coughing so deep. And I wasn't sure, since this was new uncharted territory, I wasn't sure exactly how long or what should I do. So I just took 2 shots of the J juice to kind of help move things around. And then I coughed and I exercised my diaphragm. And I knew I could survive it. I felt the pains. I felt bad. I didn't want to run away from it. I fed it the food and the food supply. And so if you're skinny and you're not eating and you're trying to run away from your pain, you will not survive this environment. I don't hold out a lot of hope for people who cannot deal with pain, who cannot change their lifestyle, who also cannot evolve with this protocol. And so, yeah, there'll be people in my group that are not going to survive this environment because they refuse to evolve. They're using Jilly Juice as a cure. I never anticipated this a couple months back, and when I figured it out, I told you guys, if you were following me, to please get off the J Juice if you've been on it for the last 4 years. Oh, I get so much pushback. Oh, well, I'm off it for now 3 months, and now I'm going to get back on it again. Oh, this or oh, that. Everyone's justifying why they're going back on it again, and they're like telling me in the group, well, I felt bad and I keep drinking J Juice and I keep feeling, and I'm just like, oh my God, that is completely the antithesis of the whole point of the JJ protocol. Right now, we're in a very dynamic environment. Right now, you're going to have to figure out how to balance out your relationships so you're not always evolving, so you're not always having to feel like you have to take J Juice, that you can handle eating the food in the food supply, it can handle resting and balance that out. Because I'm telling you, every single time I go out for maybe even a whole day, it'll take me a day to recover in the state that I'm in, reversing my issues. If I'm out for like 3 days, it'll take me a week to recover because of the amount of variance. Because I'm not trying to stop the evolution, I'm trying to adapt. So if you're out every weekend with your friends and family and you don't want to recover, so you want to feel great and feel good right after you hang out with your friends and family, you're going to be sucked alive by the environment. You're not going to be eating and coating. You're not going to have any mucus because guess what? The salt and the water is going to basically like stop your appetite. Hey, John. And so this is why I told you, this is why there's an evolution to this protocol. It is a catalyst in the beginning to reset your body and then get off it and now eat all the food in the food supply. So you should be gaining some weight in your face, in your belly, in your butt, in your boobs, and you should be putting on some kind of insulation so you can handle this crazy environment. Whether you're in Florida or you're in Ohio or all points in between and all the different seasons, you need the insulation. Because some of you have nothing to you, no substance to you, no nothing, and you really think you can survive in this very highly electrified environment? I don't think so. And the fact that you guys don't want to feel pain tells me exactly what your mindset is. And so, no, I don't have a lot of hope for you. You say, oh, yeah, I will one day. Yeah, when is that going to be? Procrastinators don't survive their lifestyle because they procrastinate. They always find a way to excuse themselves from not taking accountability today. It's always going to be tomorrow. Or when someone's out there around 40 people and say, oh, I didn't feel anything around 40 people, I knew that person's in a cured state of decline. Because you should be feeling something being around 40 people, 5 people, 10 people, 15 people. And if you don't, then yeah, you're like the people who are taking the vectors, not trying to feel any kind of evolution. And the people who are taking the vectors, who are allowing their strong immune system to attack their evolution, they're no different than you trying to stop the pain because you don't want to feel shit with the J Juice. And so, yeah, you guys are no different. So I don't want to hear anyone say, no, well, I'm anti this, anti that, and then taking J Juice to do this exact same thing, basically stifle and stagnate your evolution. You want a balanced immune system, not a strong immune system. But you guys are under the impression that you have to have a strong immune system. Because if you're a strong agonist immune system, means you have cancer. You have a strong antagonist immune system, you have so many programming antibodies that are doing a search and destroy, destroying your evolution. And so strong immune systems are not the proper term. You want a balanced immune system, which means you have to feel everything in your environment and you have to feel the issues. But now that I've reversed all my issues, I'm not doing the J Juice. I go out there, whether mask or no mask. I've had not a mask before, so it took me a couple days to recover. And I would feel the heat. I would be all mucusy. I would be coughing. I'd be tired. Have to sleep like maybe all day the next day if I'm actually in an environment with a lot of variance. And so sometimes recovering from being out there is just annoying. So then I don't really go out there, or I wear a mask because I really don't feel like having to recover the next day. But if that's not your purview, then you want to be like everyone else in a cured state of decline. You don't want to change your lifestyle or belief system or evolve with the J Juice. So yeah, I know a lot of people in my group are not going to survive this environment, even on the J Juice, because they will get too comfortable feeling nothing, being numb to the world, so they can go out and do all this stuff. They could be an example for their friends and family and learn how to put boundaries down. Oh no, mom and dad never taught you that. Mom and dad taught you always just to cater to your kids and your grandkids. but never say, hey, you know what? I got to take care of myself. I want to be there for you, grandchild, in the next 10, 15 years. So I got to kind of chill out right now because this environment's pretty crazy and I'm trying to do this. And then you learn how to speak about what your position is, and maybe they might take something from what you're doing and they will help themselves. But you ain't some kind of an example for them in any way, shape, or form as far as longevity, because you want to cater to their lifestyle. They are actually pulling you down with them. And so that's one of the downsides of the J juice mentality, is that most of you do not have any kind of spine to be able to be the leader in your community. You are a follower. And there are a lot of followers out there that follow each other right over the fucking cliff. And that's not my mentality. I'm not a freaking follower. I'm a leader and I get my hands off. But then if you say you want to understand how this works, then I'm going to give you all the information and expect you to understand it. And if you don't and fight me, then I realize that there really is nothing I can offer you. You can't offer shit to me. So where's the relationship? There is none. So then we all go our separate ways. Okay? Why waste your time with me if you're not willing to even understand where I'm coming from? And why should I waste my time with you if you're going to fight me on all this shit? So that's why I am the way I am, why I cut people off very quickly, because I don't have time for that stuff. Some of you give more patience to others than others, but it wears thin. And I do give a crap that you guys stay alive, because this environment is very crazy. And some of you are way behind the 8 ball. And I don't know if you're going to get yourself out behind the 8 ball, but I hold a little bit of hope, but not too much. Maybe I keep you around just to use you as an example when you don't survive the environment. And so when someone says, okay, this person passed away, well, it ain't from the J juice. In fact, they're not eating, and they didn't get off the J juice, and they're not eating. And when you don't eat, then you're not coating your body. So J juice didn't do anything, because it's salt, you need your salt. But if you're not eating, you're not feeling symptoms, then you're no different than someone who left the hospital from chemotherapy and cancer and couldn't survive all the treatments over a long period of time. So, it's really your responsibility. And so, yeah, I'll use you all as an example. I'll follow people who are fighting me on this shit. And I will see in the next 10, 15 years who's going to survive this environment with all of my evolution, and I will see who doesn't. And then, yeah, you'll be an example. Well, this person, I tried to warn them back in 2021. Now we're in 2031 and they're not around anymore. What did they die of? Oh, a heart attack or a stroke, because they had no substance. They never reversed their issues, and they wanted to fight me on it because they want to go see their grandkids and their kids. Their grandkids and kids will be around for a while, you hope. But maybe they won't, because you never gave them the opportunity to start figuring out how to change their way of doing stuff, because you were never the example. So maybe your grandparents or maybe your grandkids and your kids may or may not survive the next 10 years. You had a chance to help them out by being the example. And so now you're down with the ship, and so are they. And that's what I see, is some of you are not willing to be leaders in your community and be the example. And so that's why there's a great reset. Not many will survive. So good luck. Bye.